G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. I'm going to do another 3D bloom for you today, but I'm going to do it in reverse. I'm going to try. Now, do you remember this one? This was like my new favorite. I just love it. And it had the fireworks in the middle and it had the petals on the outside. So I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do the petals on the inside and the firework dots on the outside. Okay, so that's what I'm going to attempt to do today. I'm using the same resin that I did on that one. It is the Let's Resin tabletop epoxy, part A and part B. It's a 1-to-1. So I have got 120 grams of A, 110 grams of B. Because A is heavier, it's much thicker as well. So I just put a little bit extra in. Otherwise, when I come to the end, I'm going to have more of one bottle left than I have of the other. That's just what I do. And they're fine. It always works for me. It always cures. So instead of dropping ink this time, I'm actually going to add the ink to my white. So let me just get this in first, and then I'll tell you about my white and my colours. So I poured the resin in, like I said, A and B, 120 grams of A, 110 grams of B. I put it in the microwave just for 5 seconds because it's still quite cold here in Queensland, Australia. Just to kind of soften it or thin it out just a tiny bit, just so it's easier to stir. Because when it's cold, it's really hard to stir, and it's quite thick resin. So I did that just for 5 seconds, and then I put it into, and then I stirred it for 4 minutes, and then I popped it into my debubbling machine. Just going to get these little, make sure there's no bubbles in the points. Look what I found. I found a little silicone. It's all silicone, so my end won't fall off, because when I use those timber ones with the silicone tips, the tips all fall off. So I found this. I might have to buy some more of these. It's a flat end on one side and a point on the other. So I'm going to get myself some more of those because I think that would be really good for 3D blooms. Just going to give this a little torch just in the middle. I'm not getting near the edge. I don't want to burn my mold. Infuse it to the resin. Okay, so instead of dropping the inks in, I'm going to add them to my white. So in each of these cups, I've got 20 grams of resin, and I put 2 little drops. When you're squeezing this, you can have a big drop and you can have a little drop. So I just make sure, oops, I'm just going to twist you a bit. There we go. I just make sure I use a small drop so it's not too heavy, because if it's too heavy, it'll sink. So 20 grams, 2 drops. And then I'm going to add Let's Resin's alcohol ink. Peach red. I want to see what it looks like. I might have to add a darker color, but I wanted like a pale pink. That's 5. And then I've got Let's Resin's green. I don't want to put pigment paste in it because it's already got the white paste in it, and I don't want it to be any heavier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in each. We'll see how that goes. Because it's added to white, it's going to be more of a pastel green, but I'm okay with that. Look at that. That looks pretty, doesn't it? So 5 drops is plenty. Nice green. That'll be our leaves on the outside, and then like the flower will be in the middle. That's kind of what I'm going for. Right, so that's that one. Oh gosh, this looks very bright, doesn't it? But like I said, the white will tone it down. Oh, isn't that pretty? I think they will look really pretty together. And maybe I can do a blue background to sort of simulate a flower, the leaves, and then a blue sky background. So we'll see how that goes. All right, beautiful. Now we're going to pop that into the piping bags. Get all that in. That was a good guess, wasn't it? 5 drops in 20 grams. These are the high concentrated inks. So as you can see, they're lovely colours, nice and highly concentrated. Some of the cheaper brands, they have a higher percentage of alcohol in them. So you're not getting that bright colour. And because they've got more alcohol in them, they do tend to spread a little bit more. So it just depends what you want to do. If you're wanting to drop inks on top and have them spread, you're better off having one with a higher alcohol. But you could always, if you're using these, they don't spread as much, but you can swirl them, so you can still use them for sure. You get beautiful bright colours. I'm thinking 20 grams of each colour will be enough. I don't think I need more. I've got 40 grams total. I think that will be plenty. Alright, that's organised. Let's move these. We've got our pink, got our green. I think I'll do the middle first. So I'll just leave the green in there for a minute until I've got that sorted. And paper towel, I always like to have my paper towel organised. My scissors ready to go. So we'll do the bloom in the middle first. Now you don't have to add your colour like I did. You can still drop the drops like I did with this one. You get more of a variegated sort of a colour. You can still see some white and you can see some pink, and this one had some green. So you can still do it like that. Drop them in. You just get a different look. I thought I'd try it this time. Now I'm going to squeeze that tip just to get that resin to run down a little bit and cut it. Not over the top of your resin, no. And then wind it up, because you don't want an air bubble. Make sure that you've got hold of this and it's tucked in. You don't want that dragging in the bottom in your resin. Now, wind it up, get the air out. All right, I'm not going to put any glitter in. I'll probably just do a little swirl, really. But that's my middle. I think that's my middle. Okay, here we go. Nice thick lines, not too thin, otherwise, how many rows am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to keep going. Yeah, make your lines pretty thick so that it can spread. And I will come out a little bit further, just because I know that the resin's going to all move in anyway. And if I don't come out enough, I'm going to come to these tips here. See the little tips there? It's going to work my way around to get to those tips, and then I think that will be enough. Make them even, probably putting too much on here. Okay, I think that looks good. It's a flower, it's not totally symmetrical, so I've still got a little bit left. All right, now that's that done. Actually, we'll just go and we'll do that. Oh gosh, a bit of resin on my glove there, so it's sticky. Let me move that out of the way. And now we'll do the little drops. Again, squeeze the end there to get the resin to come down so that you can make a little hole. Now with your fireworks, probably need a slightly smaller hole so it doesn't all drip out, but you can just squeeze that bag a little bit if you want a bigger drop. And you do kind of need a slightly bigger drops when you're doing these. Okay. Just putting them very randomly. Okay, one done. Feel free to fast forward if you don't want to watch me dripping drops. Up to you how many you want to put in. They are going to spread, so you might not need as many as you think, and you can always go back in and add more. Look at my pink bloom, it's blooming already, yay. So I am squeezing a little bit as I go. Like I said, if your resin's too thin, you can make a real mess and the drops just pour out instead of dripping out. So if you can have your hole a little bit smaller or your resin a bit thicker. This resin's amazing. Like, I think it's my favorite, my new favorite. I'm gonna have to get some more from Let's Resin because I've been using it so much now. But yeah, I think it's my new favourite because it's already thick. Like I said to you in my previous video, I'll link that other video that I made. I'll link it at the end of this video if you want to check that one out. But as I was saying in that one, I don't have to wait for the resin to thicken. I don't have to take its temperature. All I have to do is mix it and pour it. It is so easy, you guys. So easy. So I'm going to wind this up. So if you're struggling with 3D blooms, may I suggest that you grab yourself some of this resin? You won't regret it. I'm going to get more. Don't all buy it up before I get it, please. Save some for me. It does take a little while to get here from wherever it's coming from. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I will link Let's Resin's website, their UK Amazon store, their US Amazon store, down in the description. And there's also a coupon code. So if you want to buy anything through those links, make sure you go through those links, and you can use the coupon code and you get your 10% discount. So that's amazing. Look at that. It's looking so good. Let's go in and make sure you haven't got too many big empty holes anywhere. I think that looks good. Look at my bloom. My gosh, I was concentrating so much on doing the green I didn't even look at the pink. So it has moved in a little bit. Now I'm going to do a little swirl in the middle. So what I like to do is start in the middle, and actually let's not do a swirl. We did a swirl when I did this one. I did a swirl. Let's not do a swirl. But we can't just leave it like that because the middle's going to be a little bit messy. So what we need to do is we need to get, you can use a syringe, but then it's too difficult to sort of clean it up. I'm going to cut that about here. Hang on to the end. Little pipette. So yeah, I mean you can use a syringe, but they're difficult to clean, and I can do it, but it's a bit of a pain. You've got to put some isopropyl in a cup and then up down with the plunger now to clean it, and you can probably get about 4 uses out of it, and then it's no good. But these 1 use only, they're pretty cheap. Squeeze the top of the pipette, put that in the middle, and release your squeeze. Try and hold it steady. So there you go. That's how much I've taken out, and I think it'll be all right. I might do one more. And what it's done is it's just gone like that and made a pretty little point in the center. So we'll squeeze it again over here. Put it in the center. Release. And straight up. Okay. And hopefully that will give us a pretty center. Okay. And that's it. How easy was that? How easy was that? Now, one more thing before I go. I'm just going to use my heat gun. Now you can see this side that I did first is blooming. That side's not really blooming yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a bit of a helping hand to push. I'm going to put this on low. And I'm going to push from the outside in, outside in, outside in, outside in, outside in, outside in, outside in. Did I do that one? And then these ones just again, just because they're a bit late in the party, a bit late coming to the party. That's it. And I'll hook that back up. I've got hooks under my bench, and I just hook it back up. All right, so that's it. Hopefully they will all, pretty much 99.9% sure that they are all going to move in and bloom beautifully, but there's always a risk that it's not, but I think it will. Now I think this pink will kind of shrink in a little bit smaller as well, because if you remember, I took the sort of petals right up to these points here, and it's already moved in. So it'll be interesting to see what it does once it's finished. I've got about a centimetre there. So we'll see what happens when it's all done, how much it's actually continued to move in. But yeah, that's it for me for now. Depending on how much room there's left, if you can actually see any of the background. I may or may not come back and do a top coat, because if all these close, you're not going to be able to see anything in the background. But if there's a little bit sort of left here and there, I'll come back and maybe do like a navy blue, something like that. I think would be nice. Can't do pink because it's already got too much pink in it. Can't do green, otherwise you won't see the the leaves, I guess. And if you didn't want it to be quite that dark, you could probably get away with 3 drops of each colour. I just wasn't sure exactly how much to go with, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. I think it'll look pretty. All right, I'll see you in about 5 hours for either the unmolding or the top coat. All right, it has cured. And, well, still a bit bendy, but totally okay to put the next layer on. And I can see some little areas through those green leaves. So I'm going to put a background on, and I'm going to go with the Chameleon powder again from Resin. This time I've chosen blue. There is a deep blue as well, but it throws quite a bit of purple, and I just want it to be more blue this time, so I'm going to use the plain blue one. When you tip it like that, you can see a little bit of purple still, but it's not as much as the other one. And go with two scoops. It does fly away a little bit, so make sure you do it over here, away from your resin piece. I'll start my timer again. So I've only got 50 grams of A and about 45 grams of B this time. Ooh, look at that. Don't think I need to make it any darker. If you're using a light color, sometimes you can add a drop of black just to make it a little bit deeper in color, so that your petals and your fireworks can stand out more. But I think that's really nice. Anyway, as I was saying, I got sidetracked. So I mixed my resin for, normally I set the timer for 4 minutes, you see. And then I thought, well, I'm adding color, so I'll just mix it for 3 minutes. Start my video, add my color, and then I can just mix it for another minute, and that's still a 4-minute mix, if you know what I mean. It just gives me that extra minute to, there it goes, gives me that extra minute to stir my powder in, because I don't want any dry powder left. Make sure it's all mixed in. All right, hopefully this will look pretty. I am thinking that my colors were too dark, but we'll see what happens. I guess I'm just so used to doing white blooms that when I do put color in it, I think, it's too much, but it's probably fine. It's just different, hey? I can't keep doing the same things over and over for you. I want to try, do different things, show you different options, because I can't just keep doing white blooms all the time. I'd like to, because this is my hobby as well, I enjoy it. So I'm trying to try different things. So if you've got anything that you would like me to try, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Push all that to the edge. There's a little bit left. So this mold holds probably about, what did I say last time? About 350 grams of resin. And that's quite full. All right. Oh, that's a really pretty blue, isn't it? Lovely background color. And I'll just give it a little spray with some isopropyl just to get any bubbles, but I'm really not fussed if there's bubbles. It's the back, and it's such a thin layer. Any bubbles are just going to come up on their own anyway and pop. So we are all good there. Spilt a bit of powder. Let's get that up as well before I take my gloves off and clean up my space. And there we go. Hopefully I can unmold this tonight. It's already starting to come in off the sides. So yeah, lovely. All right, I'll see you in another few hours for the unmolding. All right, it's ready. Yay! So I got it all done today. What's the time now? It's 7 p.m. So yeah, I've got the 2 layers done and cured in the day, which is great. I'm not very patient. I don't like having to wait for the next day to unmold. All right, it's still a tiny bit soft on the back here, but it's fine for unmolding. Now, I wonder what it's gonna look like. I wonder. Now I've got some little fingerprints there. But what I'm going to do is I'll just heat them a little bit with my torch, and they'll go. But look, I'll do it later because I'm going to touch it again. That's why I've got my gloves on. I will link my small blossom tray mold for you if you'd like to get that one. All right, are we ready? Now, like I said earlier, I do think that my colours are a little bit dark. Maybe 3 drops would have been better. Live and learn. I can do it again. That's a good thing about resin. You can do it again if you're not happy. Okay, are you ready? We'll just do it. Ah, look at that. Wow. My fireworks worked really well. These I'm not quite sure about. They're not quite as defined on the edges as I would have liked. But still, it's still pretty. There you go. Reverse bloom fireworks. What do you think? I still like this one best, but this was fun. But yeah, I think maybe next time I'll do a little bit less colour. Loving the leaves on the outside. I just think I could have done a better job with the bloom. I probably put, yeah, maybe I made the lines a little bit too thick, a little bit too heavy, but live and learn. It is what it is. It was fun to do. But you let me know what you think of it, hey? There you go. That was fun. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you all again real soon for the next one. Okay, take care. Bye for now.